Well guys, we asked for it and we officially got it with Quincy Olivari. He made their team via a two-way contract, with the Lakers adding him and replacing Colin Castleton with him. He's made the team and it's a feel-good story for not only their team but undrafted players out of the NBA draft in general. And in regard to how he beat out Colin Castleton, I mean, from either watching him play or looking at the numbers, I think it's pretty obvious. Olivari put up 8.8 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, shot 52.2% from the field, and 57.1% from 3 in only 13.4 minutes per game during preseason. Or about 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5.4 made threes per 36-minute average. Great all-around numbers, and some of the best on their entire team throughout preseason. Definitely pretty ridiculous for a guy that only played one full game. Kind of hard to believe, I know, but apart from their final preseason game against Golden State last night, Olivari only played one quarter in his other 3 games played. One quarter during the Milwaukee game, which led to him making a fourth quarter comeback for their team and dropping 11 points in only about 9 minutes, and then only one quarter in 2 other games too. So definitely very impressive what he was able to do. The production and limited playing time, him being a spark plug off their bench pretty much whenever he was called upon at random moments and not really being fully prepared for it, and yet he found a way to really stand out and make an impact too. But then for Colin Castleton, I wouldn't say he already disappointed. He wasn't horrible, but he definitely didn't stand out. And definitely not for a guy that had one more year in the NBA compared to Quincy Olivari. Castleton put up about 2.4 points per game, 3.2 rebounds per game, 0.8 blocks per game, and shot 50% from the field in 13.7 minutes per game. So actually a little bit more playing time than Quincy Olivari, and significantly less impact. Even per 36-minute average, he only put up 6.3 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks per 36-minute average. Or in other words, about 20 points per game less than Olivari, actually 1 rebound per game less, and again, definitely significantly less impact too. Simply put, he got beat out by Olivari, and arguably got beat out by Ramel Traore too. 2 rookies that had less experience than Colin Castleton, and with that in mind, I'm definitely a fan of it. I don't dislike Colin Castleton, and I think he did have unique ability at the 5. Being a good playmaker, could actually dribble a bit for a 5, showed a little bit of 3-point shooting ability, but simply put, was not athletic enough to play the 5 at the NBA level if you ask me. Not a great rebounder, not a great rim protector, not a great finisher around the rim. And simply put, it's really hard to make it in the NBA as a center without doing any of that. So in my opinion, it definitely was the right move for them. Whether they had to waive Colin Castleton or Ramel Traore, I would have been completely fine with it to keep Quincy Olivari. But again, I think they did make the right move here. With that being said though, if you're not familiar with a two-way contract, which is what they signed Quincy Olivari to, here's what he will be limited with it. 50 total NBA games, can't go over that mark, and will not be eligible to compete in the postseason. Probably not a big deal, but if they would be injury prone or if Quincy Olivari would really show out, that would limit him in that regard. But all around, it does give them full control over Quincy Olivari. A different team can't sign him now, no worry about that. And he will be under full team control throughout this season and next season if they want him to. But in regard to the rotation and the playing time that he may or may not be looking at, I think that Olivari is currently behind D'Lo, Reeves, Christie, Connect, and Vincent within their current rotation. But I think they did already jump over Bronny and Maxwell Lewis and Jalen Hood-Schifino if you ask me. That's kind of who is ahead of him at point guard or shooting guard on their main roster, but after training camp and preseason, I think he's already jumped them even with the two-way contract. They might have the guaranteed contracts, but I think Olivari has shown more, and definitely more NBA ready ability too. Apart from that though, as I don't think that would really give him playing time quite yet, the main competition ahead of him will get more minutes, and I think he would have to beat one of them out to get actual playing time. And the likely competition for him here would be Gabe Vincent. If Gabe Vincent can't get back to his old self, being that good point of attack defender, fairly reliable 3-point shooter, and all-around impact player at point guard and shooting guard, I'm fairly confident in him, but if he would get hurt again or simply can't get back to that level, then maybe Quincy Olivari could step in for him. Olivari himself is a pretty pesky point of attack defender, probably not at Gabe Vincent's level, but then arguably a better offensive player, or at the bare minimum a better, more high volume 3-point shooter. I think that could be his pathway for playing time. Redick has already complimented him on it, being a pesky point of attack defender that can pick up full court, loves to take 3-point shots. Redick loves high volume 3-point shooters, and even can kind of fill a movement shooter type role too. So I think that would be the pathway to playing time for Quincy Olivari. But again, he would have to have either Gabe Vincent or Dalton Connect or somebody like that ahead of him not play well or get hurt. But regardless, I think it's great to have that depth in the rotation. Even though he's a rookie and a relatively unproven one, I think Olivari has shown quite a bit and probably could be a candidate to give some impact at the NBA level. Probably not more than 10 minutes per game, but even that could be useful in some matchups. And for my overall thoughts on Olivari making their team, I for one love it. I mean, simply put, he outperformed every other two-way contract on their team and then some. Even the actual 15-man roster guys in their team too, he outperformed a few of them. Whether you're talking about two-way contract guys like Colin Castleton, who he did replace, Christian Koloko, who didn't really play, or Armel Traore, I thought he outperformed them. But even guys like Bronny James, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Maxwell Lewis, and even Cam Reddish too, I thought he outperformed them. And if we're being honest here, I think it would have set a really bad example if he didn't make their team. I mean, if you don't reward the guy that worked his ass off throughout training camp, put up great preseason numbers, and overall made a great impact on your team, what would that say to future guys that want to join your training camp roster, undrafted guys that join your team after the draft, and simply guys that hope to make your team? I think that would have been a bad look, and I think they definitely did make the right choice here with Quincy Olivari. And with that being said, whether he's NBA ready or not, I think they show plenty of upside. Being a former 5-year college player like Dalton Connect, and has a ton of experience for a rookie, not a guy like Bronny or Hood-Schifino that barely played in college, a guy that played a full 5 years and well over 100 games too. So tough to say if he'd actually be an impact player at the NBA quite yet, but I definitely had more faith in him compared to Hood-Schifino, Bronny James, or Maxwell Lewis. So from that standpoint, it actually did improve their depth too. But even beyond all that, how can you not love a good feel-good story from an undrafted player? Quincy Olivari worked his way up from Summer League to a training camp deal with their team to eventually a two-way contract deal now. And not to mention pouring his absolute heart out during his post-game interview last night. And if you didn't hear it, you definitely should.
Well, I honestly don't know what comes next either. You know, every day I just approach it like it could be my last. And Rui hit it on the head today. This is like the last chance for people like me, because tomorrow's not promised and neither is next week. But what is guaranteed is I have an opportunity today to go out and make a lasting impression.
How do you kind of judge yourself based on your ability to take the opportunity you were given and do something with it?
My dad's preached the same thing since I picked up a basketball. Did I play hard and did I have fun? I definitely had fun. You know, I think like yesterday when we played the Suns, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker knew my name, and it was just like the biggest surprise. I'm 23 years old, but every time I put on an NBA jersey or come to an NBA practice, I'm that eight-year-old kid that's just begging my dad to take me to an NBA game. And so coming out today, I didn't know I was starting until the game when we went through our scout before the game, and I was just like, wow, you know, first career NBA start in the last game. I've had this great feeling all day. Why not capitalize? So I would definitely say I took advantage because I had fun. And not only did I have fun, I played hard with the opportunity I had. And win or loss, made or missed shot, I know I gave it my all.
And you mentioned Book and KD knowing who you are. It looked like maybe your favorite player of all time also knows who you are. We saw Steph Curry having some words with you on the court after the game. What can you tell us about that conversation?
Man, it's crazy because I've liked him since I was in like 6th grade. Like, it was, I don't even know what to say, man, because like that's my favorite player ever. And the first thing he told me was like, I'm a big fan of your game. And like, truth be told, I'm a big fan of him. You know, like I had his jersey. He signed it twice. I used to sleep under that jersey, and like I just wanted to be like him so bad. And so just to be able to meet him, him be able to have some respect for me, and then us to talk in the back, he gave me a pair of his shoes and signed them. Like that meant the world to me, man. Like my dad knows, my mom knows. Like it just means a lot. And like I don't know. It just means a lot.
Again, I love everything about them signing Quincy Olivari. The guy's got heart, he played well for them, and more than deserved a two-way contract. I love it, and I hope you guys do too. But before we finish up, we do have an update on Christian Koloko. According to Shams Charania, now with ESPN, a decision from the NBA's return to play panel is expected quote-unquote very soon, and there is optimism that he will in fact be cleared to play, which would be great considering that they did waive Colin Castleton now, pretty much their third center at the moment, Anthony Davis obviously being their center in the starting lineup, Jackson Hayes behind him, but with Christian Wood being hurt, they really don't have a true 5 that's available. Armel Traore can kind of fill that role for them, but they probably don't want to rely on him quite yet, and even Colin Castleton they probably didn't, but he did have size to play at the 5, and at the moment that was their third center. So they really do need Christian Koloko back. If Anthony Davis or Hayes would ever get hurt, that would be really tough for the rotation, relying on only one center, and then a combination of probably LeBron and Rui Hachimura filling out the 5 would not be a great option for a lot of matchups. With that being said though, I'm glad that we'll finally get to hear about that decision. I obviously want him to be cleared to play, but more than anything I want clarity on that decision. They gotta make a choice, and hopefully they do let him return to the NBA. With that being said though, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the Lakers signing Quincy Olivari to a 2-way contract, waiving Colin Castleton, and then with Christian Koloko maybe getting cleared to play soon? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to drop a like, hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and turn on notifications so you never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.